Thank you, sir, for enlightening us by your speech. Now, most important program, the inaugural address by our Honorable Vice President of India, Sri M. Hamid Ansari. What a delight it is to request Sri M. Hamid Ansari, Honorable Vice President of India, to deliver this inaugural speech. He does not need any introduction, as he has been a brilliant student of this university and Vice Chancellor of this great institution.
Illustrious old boy, outstanding diplomat par excellence, India's former ambassador to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and a wonderful administrator of Hajj affairs, India's former permanent representative to UN and now Vice President of India. May I say, sir, चश्मे खूं जिल्लत इजहार की मोहताज नहीं, ये कहानी किसी किरदार की मोहताज नहीं। हमने मुल्कों की तरह लोगों के दिल जीते हैं, ये हुकूमत किसी तलवार की मोहताज नहीं। जनाब हामिद अंसारी साहब।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। His Excellency Governor Rajeshwar ji, Governor Siftirazi Sahab, Justice Ahmadi Sahab, Thakur Javeer Singh ji, Vice Chancellor Professor Abdul Aziz, very many distinguished alumni and faculty on the dais, many friends in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. This is homecoming and therefore in no need of ceremony. Today, however, is a special occasion and I am grateful to the university for having invited me to it. आपके सामने खड़ा होकर एक सवाल भी ज़हन में आता है, क्या कहूँ और क्यों कर कहूँ। इस बज़्म में वो कहते हैं हमें मौके के मुआफ़िक़ बात करो, और हमने ये दिल में ठानी है या दिल की कहें या कुछ न कहें। Yesterday, Algerians the world over celebrated Sir Syed Day and finished the evening by devouring little or not so little quantities of biryani and shahi tukra. It was the occasion to honor the memory of the founder of this great institution. The tenacity of the practice is indeed admirable. जहाँ जाए वहाँ तेरा फसाना छेड़ देते हैं, कोई महफिल हो तेरा रंग महफिल याद आता है। Many of the success stories of recent decades are here with us. For this reason, and on the morrow of Sir Syed Day, it is time to recall the message of Syed Ahmad Khan, do some introspection and some cost accountancy. This institution, ladies and gentlemen, came into existence 1875 in response to a specific need and on the basis of a vision. Its mission was to bring the fruits of modern education to the Muslims of India. This included inculcating a spirit of rational thinking and scientific inquiry. Allama Iqbal had summed up the requirement in a couplet. इस दौर में तालीम है अमराज मिल्लत की दवा है, खून फासिद के लिए तालीम मिसले नेश्तर. The mission succeeded to a point but failed to go beyond it. The results of that failure are evident and in no need of elaboration. But two questions do arise. Why did it happen? And how can it be corrected? Let us candidly admit that our failure was conceptual as well as practical. We fail to appreciate that educational advancement cannot be sectional, nor can it be attained in a vacuum, divorced from social change and without changes in levels of consciousness about the evolving requirements of the world around us, nationally and internationally. Let me be specific. Firstly, we succumbed to selectivity and did not appreciate the true worth and imperative necessity of education for all, beginning with primary education. As a result, illiteracy levels remain above the national level, and until quite recently, only sections of the well-to-do were exposed to modern and higher education. Secondly, there was an inordinate delay in appreciating the need for female literacy and its relevance for educating new generations. Thirdly, while shikwa about our condition was valid, there was no need to carry it to the point of incapacity for autonomous action. We failed to take note of, emulate and adapt the initiatives taken by other communities in creating ventures in the field of education, independent of government agencies. And lastly, while adhering to the traditional virtues of charity, we did not, exceptions apart, appreciate the need for organized philanthropy for public purposes. All this happened while the pace of change in modern India gathered new momentum. To participate in this exciting venture, relevant education became a prerequisite. Friends, much is happening nationally in the field of education. The requirement of a knowledge society, however, is yet to be met. Our gross enrollment ratio in higher education remains at 11% and compares poorly with China's 22% and 54.6% of the developed world. The government proposes to raise it to 15% by 2012 and 21% by 2017. The challenge now before us is to ensure that all segments of the public benefit from it in equitable measure. This can only be achieved in a proactive mode on the basis of an agenda relevant to the world of tomorrow. We also need to understand that failure to participate would lead us to marginalization and that mediocrity means irrelevance. Every challenge, however, is also an opportunity. What can and should be done by the Aligarh fraternity at this juncture? Could it become a catalyst? If so, what practical steps beckon us? The corrective has, to my mind, to commence at the foundations of the societal structure. I would suggest that we lay the foundations of a new approach through the following 8 steps. 1. Ensure that in our own respective localities, every child actually goes to primary school. 2. Ensure that all children, boys and girls, complete 8 years of schooling. 3. That after class 8, children either proceed to class 10 or go to a vocational training center. 4. Identify and assist those qualified to enter universities or professional institutions. Inculcate in them a spirit of competition. Affirmation of identity is a legitimate pursuit. Seeking special dispensations, however, will not get us very far. 5. Draw the maximum benefit from the scholarship schemes